Hi, it's me, JD, and I just want to say, beach, please. No, that wasn't me swearing. I'm just getting excited for some beach-themed cards we're making today. And the first one that we're going to start with starts with minimal supplies and some ink blending. First, I'm going to create my own stencil with some masking paper and a pencil. I will be freehand drawing a wave shape for my ocean waves, as well as the part where the ocean meets the sand in my beach scene. If you have a stencil with this shape, that'd be great. If you don't, because you obviously blew your craft budget for the month like me, then this is a great way to make your own stencil. Once I got my piece cut out, I'm going to stick it on my cardstock and start ink blending with good old-fashioned distress inks. I like distress inks to blend, even though there are distress oxides out there. Distress inks, just to me, they're a little more vibrant than distress oxides, and I really wanted some vibrant color for this. I used that same piece over and over again and just shifted it up my card front to make the waves. I'm using the other piece of that masking paper I cut out to blend in the sand part of my ocean scene. The first card is going to be a really quick, clean and simple card, all one layer. I'm going to flick some water over the top for some added interest. The inspiration for this beach card came from one of my favorite beaches in the whole wide world, which is Kailua Beach in Hawaii. I was fortunate enough to live in Hawaii for a few years, and I frequented Kailua Beach a lot. So the turquoise sea, the real soft white sandy beaches is just heaven to me. And so that's what I wanted this beach card to look like. Now I'm going to stamp my sentiment in a brown ink so it looks like I wrote it in the sand. The next card features more ink blending and some stamping. Well, I guess the first card did too. But this is for my advanced ink blenders. The first card was just child's play. That was, for beginners. This is for my advanced subscribers. So I'm gonna first mask off my horizon and as well as mask off where the sand meets the water for my ocean scene. Now I'm going to draw a circle mask with, hold on. Yeah, I didn't do that right. Like I was saying, I'm going to make a circle mask for my sun, just tracing around the bottom of an embossing powder jar. You could use a die for this, but I just saw a jar on my desk and I was like, I don't want to break out the dies right now. So I'm just freehand cut it. I know it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be in this case. And so I'm adding some ink down first, and then removing the mask and then adding some ink where the mask was to create my sun for my beach scene. This card is going to be a one layer card as well, but it's going to take a lot of different masking and layers because I want a lot of things going on in this card. I want a sunset, I want an ocean, I want a sky, I want a sand, and I want it all flat and in one layer. So I'm going in now with some darker blue ink for the sky. I'm going to move the painter's tape on the other side now because I'm going to make my sun's reflection in the ocean. I told you this card had a lot going on. And so I'm just going back in with the same yellow ink before. Now I'm going in with this really pretty ocean color. I'm going for more Caribbean ocean now as opposed to a Hawaiian ocean in the first card. Now after removing both the painter's tape, I'm going to stick it back on because now I'm going to use it for my sand. Apparently I'm really stingy with my painter's tape because I keep using it over and over again for different masking layers. And in theory, yeah, you probably can get away with it, but generally sometimes it just doesn't work out because you transfer ink, but luckily it worked out in this situation. And now I'm just going over with another layer of ink to really darken that blue sky up to help define it against the ocean. And then I have this really cool stamp from, I think it's Gina K Designs, and it created a whole frame for my beach scene. This stamp really helped to anchor the scene nicely. I'm using her fancy schmancy like amalgam ink too. I just got it in the mail and it's a pretty good ink. Yeah, believe the hype, people. It's a good ink. I'm going to stamp my sentiment as well as some birds to help finish the scene, and this card is done. I love that it's one layer and that it makes me want a pina colada. The next card features even more ink blending and stamps, but first, don't hate me. I'm using the Hero Arts monthly hero kit of the month stamp of the, what do they call it, monthly kit, my month, whatever. And I know it's sold out. Like I said, don't hate me that I'm using it. I think they'll do some like choose your favorite kit of the year vote at the end of the year, and then they'll bring it back in stock. So hopefully they do that again this year, and just be sure to vote for this kit so it can come back in stock. But as you can see there, I stamped the ocean in different layers, and I do know that there's 2 other companies that offer this kind of like layered ocean stamping. So I'll link them below if you really want to create your ocean scene now. Not trying to throw salt in the wound to those who don't have the kit, but the layered stamp and the sand embossing powder is pretty cool. There's always the add-on elements for the kit as well. That's what I use for my sentiment. I'm going for like an East Coast ocean with some dark blue water and an ink blended sand scene. I'm showing you the process for this card mainly because A, I really wanted to use the kit, and B, there are, like I said, there are similar stamp sets out there, and the sand you can ink blend with any color, and I used an add-on stamp set for my sentiment. So you can be inspired by this card and make your own if you want, and I really do hope they bring this back in stock because it's a really cool set. Now for some more ink blending and stamps with products that are out of stock. Just kidding. This card features die cutting only, which I don't think I've done in a video to date. I've done this technique before, and now this is my first time doing it in a video. So I did all of my die cutting off camera because it's getting be boring seeing me crank my die cutting machine over and over and over again. So instead I'll just show you how I pieced it all together and then cut out my sentiment twice, once in white and once in blue to create a bit of a shadow, and then I attached it all together with some really strong adhesive, and that card was finished, and it was fun to make. I think I'm gonna do some more die cutting only cards in the future. Well, I hope this inspires you to make some beach cards of your own using whatever stamps and dies you may have. Be sure to hit the subscribe button before you leave, and see you later, beaches!